Hello there, everybody. Welcome back to the Rogic Geo channel. Today, we're going to be watching a little video going over the Siliguri corridor. Did I say that correctly? I think I did. The Siliguri corridor, the Chicken Neck corridor. At least I believe that's what this video is going to be talking about. This is a video why India has this narrow corridor by KhAnubis. KhAnubis. It's KhAnubis, obviously. I actually really like this channel. I don't know why I wasn't subscribed on this account. I am subscribed on my main account, which is interesting. Either way, we're going to be watching KhAnubis here. And if you want to see the video or see his channel, the link to this video will be in the description down below. But without further ado, I say let's go ahead and get right into it, yes?
If you like to look at maps as much as I do, you might.
I do, actually. I started this whole channel to watch, or to do GeoGuessr content, which I do. I actually have a map right here. I'm looking directly at a map right now on my wall, but yeah.
Might have noticed something a little odd about India, namely this area to the northeast, and how its
Okay.
only connection to the rest of India is through this 20-kilometer wide corridor between Bangladesh and Nepal. So why is this corridor so skinny? What differentiates this part of India from the rest of the country, and how does India deal with such a precarious connection?
It is a very tough ordeal. It's very vital spot, the Siliguri corridor. I think I'm saying that right. I think I am. But yeah, the seven sister states up in the northeast part of India. It's actually really beautiful up there. Not that I've been there personally, but I've done a lot of geoguessing up in that area, and I've seen a lot of videos on that area. It's surprisingly beautiful, like Meghalaya. I think I'm saying that right. Is like the rainiest place in the entire world, and honestly, to be quite frank with you, I'd like to live there. Personally, I like the rain. I just want it to rain all the time, and I think that'd be pretty awesome. Anyways, sorry.
This is India, and this is, well, Northeast India, comprising a quarter of India's 28 states, but only 45 million of India's 1.4 billion strong population. An incredibly isolated region, yet one of the most culturally and linguistically diverse in an already diverse country. The states in Northeast India are known as the Seven Sisters, as there are 7 of them, who presumably go by some variant of she/her, the states in question being Assam, Manipur.
I'm sorry. Did he give them pronouns? She, her pronouns?
Who presumably go by some variant of she/her.
Okay, sure. Sorry, I'm not laughing at the fact of the pronouns. I'm laughing that he would give states pronouns. Okay.
The states in question being Assam, Manipur, Meghalaya, Mizoram, Nagaland, Tripura, and Arunachal Pradesh, which is claimed by China but in practice administered as a state of India.
It is the state of India.
Guys, stop adding me to this group chat already. Sikkim, meanwhile, was a protectorate of India until becoming a state in 1975, now said to be the brother of the Seven Sisters, as it is sort of separated from the rest of Northeast India by the same Siliguri corridor that I put in the title and thumbnail to get you to click on a video about Northeast India,
Interesting.
which lies entirely in the state of West Bengal, and that highlights part of the reason for this strange border. Really, the simple answer as to why Northeast India's only connection to the rest of its country is through a 20-kilometer wide corridor around the city of Siliguri is basically because Bangladesh exists. But for the full context of how this strange set of borders came to be, let's look a bit deeper into the history of this area. 3,000 years ago, some stuff probably happened. Fast forwarding to
What was that?
the history of this area. 3,000 years ago, some stuff
How Italy got Slovenia's coastline. Let me start going back by 3,000 years. I don't. It must be a joke on a channel joke. I don't know actually. I have watched a lot of videos from this channel, but I'm not up on the channel lore.
probably happened. Fast forwarding to the last 1,000 or so years, this region has always been kinda out of the way of many of the great empires of northern India. From the Mauryas to the Guptas to the Delhi Sultanate, the Brahmaputra River Valley and the highlands surrounding it had never truly been conquered by any of the powers from the west. From the east, however, is a bit of a different story. Just a few hundred kilometers to the east,
The Ahom Empire came and conquered the area. Well, they didn't. I shouldn't say conquer. They assimilated the area.
linguistic world away, this guy named Sukapa had been the crown prince of the Hmong Mao kingdom, as his uncle Palmilpong didn't have a male heir. But then later in his reign, he did have a male heir and the succession was secured. Thus, Sukapa plotted his revenge, biding his time until— oh wait, no, actually he's just leaving to start his own thing. Thus, Sukapa and his entourage of 9,000 crossed the Pakai Hills and established the Ahom kingdom in what is now Assam. I'd highly recommend watching this video from KhAnubis if you want to learn more about this
That's a fantastic video.
story, but eventually the Ahom kingdom became the new largest and strongest power in what is now northeast India, spreading throughout much of the Brahmaputra River Valley, making up the modern state of Assam, now home to 31 million of the entire region's 45 million people. Probably not that hard to see why if we look at a topographic.
There's only 45 million people up in the Seven Sister States? Really? 45 million people divided amongst the 7 states, 31 of which are just in Assam? Wow. Also, look at this. Bam. Big old mountain ridge cutting right through Nagaland and Mizoram and all that.
Map of the area. Throughout the 16th and 17th centuries, the Mughal Empire rose from its Central Asian dominions to conquer most of northern India, including the Kamata kingdom further down the valley. However, even after briefly taking the Ahom capital, 67 years of conflict ended in basically nothing for the Mughals and, well, continued independence for the Ahom. Also starting in the 17th century, however, several of the big European colonial powers began to establish factories across the coast of India. But it was in the northeast of the subcontinent where one of these nations would change the face of India for the next few hundred years. The outcome of the Battle of Palashi saw the British East India Company take over all of Bengal, and by
Didn't they get a lot of their tea from Assam up in that area? Like, I'm not. It doesn't originate from there, but a lot of British tea came from that area, right?
the 1820s, British influence had grown from this part of India to this part of India. The Kingdom of Ahom, however, alongside its neighbors east of Bengal, managed to evade colonization to this point. However, the three-part Mohamori rebellion had weakened the kingdom to the point where it could be invaded by the Kongbao Empire to the east. This, however, led to the Kongbao butting against British Bengali claims, both within northeast India and just off their shores, leading to the First Anglo-Burmese War in 1824, although I don't think they called it the first one just yet. The Treaty of
Probably not.
Yandabo 2 years later saw
Kind of like how they didn't call World War One World War One. It was the Great War until another one happened.
Kongbao give basically all of what would become northeast India to the British.
Actually,
As well,
what was World War Two called at the time? Because I doubt they would have called it World War Two, right? Or maybe they did. Maybe it was in the lexicon then at that point. I don't know. What was it called? I don't know. I'd have to look that up. For whatever reason, I just simply don't know.
was the territory that 200 years later would become the Burmese Rakhine state. While this saw the beginning of Britain's expansion into Burma, the Tripura and Manipur kingdoms, as well as the Khasi, remained separate subservient kingdoms outside Assam, which was now molded into Bengal, at least until it became its own colonial province in 1912.
See,
But
I
you know what?
didn't
You're
I
here
didn't know they were separated. That's cool.
for the border, so let's talk about the border. By the end of World War II, Britain's empty coffers could no longer ignore the growing calls for independence across the subcontinent. However, there was fierce disagreement on what a post-independence India should look like. While Hindu leaders like Gandhi and Nehru wanted a unified India, a century of systemic division along religious lines caused Muslim leaders such as Muhammad Ali Jinnah to fear their communities would be relegated to second-class citizens in a Hindu-majority country. And so the decision was made to split India on the basis of religion. Muslims to
Again, one of the worst decisions. I don't know. I feel like a lot of tension in the world was caused by this decision to split India into India, Pakistan, and well, East Pakistan, West Pakistan at the time, but Bangladesh.
Pakistan and Hindus, and really everyone else, to India. What happened next was nothing short of a horror show brought on by terrible planning. The Radcliffe Line, named after Cyril Radcliffe, a British lawyer who had, quote, never been east of Paris, and was nonetheless charged with drawing the line, divided India from the newly created Pakistan. However, even before the exact borders were revealed to the public, millions began to flee to where they hoped they would be able to live better lives, dividing families and ultimately claiming over 1 million lives in the ensuing violence. The partition, however, didn't just split the former Indian Empire, but also two of the largest provinces. While Punjab would be split into the Indian state of Punjab and the Pakistani province of, well, Punjab, Bengal befell a similar fate, divided between the Indian state of West Bengal and the Pakistani province of East Pakistan, nowadays the independent nation of Bangladesh, all divided along religious lines and essentially which district decided to be in which country. Thus, with Rangpur joining what would become Bangladesh, India was given only this dangly corridor to connect it to its northeastern states. After independence, with tensions growing between the newly independent nations, the chicken's neck, as many like to call it, because chickens have famously thin necks.
Do they? When I think of famously thin neck, I think of like the giraffe.
I guess, became an incredibly vulnerable choke point, particularly in the case of a Chinese attack. However likely this would be to actually happen in the future, China did attempt in the 90s to cede disputed territory to Bhutan in exchange for the Doklam Plateau. It's also worth mentioning that China did not officially recognize Sikkim as part of India until 2003, insisting it was still an independent country, which is definitely not how these disputes tend to work on the international stage. What's more is that only a few highways and one single railway pass through the corridor, making this one connection potentially vulnerable to landslides, but it's not as if Northeast India is one of the rainiest.
Whoa, hold on. This is a rain map?
Potentially vulnerable to landslides, but it's not as if.
Wow. Look at all this rain here in Africa. And then just a sheer, like, straight line where the Sahara starts. Okay.
Northeast India is one of the rainiest places on the planet. Northeast India is also the least urbanized region in the country.
You know what? I'd be down to live in more rainy places. Like, look at this. Maybe I'd go live in... I don't want to live in Singapore.
Vulnerable
Maybe live
to
in Singapore.
landslides, but it's not as if
I don't know. If I were to live in Brazil, I'd definitely want to be somewhere a little bit more where it gets a lot more rain. My family home in Mexico, it's dry as a bone, man. My family's from the state of Durango, so not a lot of rain there. Papua New Guinea, I don't think I'd want to live there. The northern part of Afghanistan, Australia, no, I'm okay. I don't know. I don't know. We can go to Ho Chi Minh City in Vietnam. How's that? Anyways, let's get on with the video.
Northeast India is one of the rainiest places on the planet. Northeast India is also the least urbanized region in the country, with Assam actually having the lowest urban population in the region, at 14.8%. Despite how isolated the region looks on a map of India, and indeed is if you want to get there, Northeast India was perfectly located to become the multilingual melting pot it is to this day. To the east and southeast are the Austronesian and KhAnubis languages.
Austro what? Hold on.
Is to this day. To the east and southeast are the Austronesian.
Austroasiatic. Austroasiatic.
And KhAnubis languages. To the north and east are the Sino-Tibetan languages, including Burmese, and from the west came the Indo part of the Indo-European languages. And indeed, this is what we see across the region today, as Hindi isn't really spoken as much here, and many of these states have their own native languages. So you have Assamese, Manipuri or Meitei, Mizo, and Sikkimese, alongside Ao, Bengali, Bodo, Khasi, Nepali, Nisi, and dozens of others. Although 3 of these states, AP, Meghalaya, and Nagaland, simply use English as their official governmental language. This region is also home to a large population of Christians, particularly in Meghalaya, where they make up 75% of the population.
Wow.
But as a
I knew that fact, but I didn't know. Well, it's still a shock to me because I always forget about it. Interesting.
Consequence of this geographic isolation, both due to the weird borders and actual physical geography, The Northeast is one of the poorest and most neglected regions of the country. It's to the point that many Northeast Indians refer to the rest of their country as the mainland. This, alongside a lack of representation in parliament and
Okay.
fears of losing their cultural identities, has led to the rise of insurgent groups throughout the region. As of 2020, much of the violence in the region has declined to this area between AP, Assam, and northern Nagaland. However, concerns still loom over the region, in particular in Manipur, where clashes between Meitei and Kuki extremists have more recently claimed 75 lives and displaced 35,000 more. The Indian government has even accused China of aiding certain groups along the Myanmar border, something which the Chinese Foreign Ministry has denied.
Oh, I can 100% see that. China's all about doing stuff like that.
Northeast India is like a microcosm of the sheer diversity throughout the entire country. It's a culturally rich part of India, suffering from a very poor connection to the rest of its country.
Oh, that's it? Oh, man. Okay. I thought he was going to go and talk about how there have been like deals with Bangladesh to get trains to go through and to get riverboats to go through, but that's the whole video. Okay. He simply wanted to talk about the Siliguri corridor. Actually, he didn't even say the name. He just called it the chicken neck. I'm pretty certain it's called the Siliguri corridor. But I guess you'll let me know in the comments, right? What if I became India's prime minister? Drew Vrothy, 9.7 million views. Wow, Drew Vrothy's running for a prime minister. Um, Anyways, guys, this video will again be linked in the description down below. And now it's time for my favorite part where I go and read some comments. The most chicken neck of all chicken necks ever. Only 32 million, which is more population than the majority of nations. Just goes to show how populous India really is. A few mistakes in the video. Okay. Okay. Well, if you want to read all those mistakes, there you go. I'm not going to read that, but yep, it's there if you want to go and read it. There you are, everybody. By Pig 8980 or 8982. As a Northeast Indian, it is overall very accurate video. Minor details here and there are off, but it doesn't matter in the grand scheme. What's more, for a while there, even small bits of India is completely surrounded by small bits of Bangladesh, completely surrounded by, oh yeah, the enclaves. Yeah, there was a huge mess of enclaves here in the northern part, like actually just like all throughout like this area right here, where you'd have like parts of Bangladesh and then India and parts of Bangladesh and then Bangladesh and parts of that part. And it was just, ugh. It was a huge mess, huge mess. But that all got sorted out. The 20-kilometer gap is called the Siliguri Corridor, and I am happy that I'll be landing right in the middle of the Siliguri Corridor in 3 months. Real exciting. There we go. I was correct, guys. I have been in this area as a ritual for Bengalis to visit Darjeeling. Siliguri, Darjeeling, and Pong are very beautiful places. Fact that might be important, I don't know. Due to ethnic lines, the Indo-Myanmar border is pretty much open and is called Free Movement Regime. But due to chaos over in Myanmar, the central government decided to scrap it. Wasn't popular throughout Northeast India. Yeah, I heard of that. Thank you for coming through with answers to a question I have always wondered. If there are two fishes fighting in a pond, be sure that the British passed by. Okay. Great video, fully appreciate it. I wish you had included the 1905 partition of Bengal also. Most interesting video, mate. Please take my life. Anyways, that's my hometown, Siliguri. Fascinating to see a video about a beautiful and interesting stretch of India which connects northeastern states to the other parts of India. Bangladesh mentioned. Bangladesh was indeed mentioned. It sounds like you're pronouncing the names of the country as Meowman. Meowman. Thumbnail quote courtesy of India's grandmother. I don't remember what the thumbnail would look like. Anyways, I'm going to look at some newer comments to see what is what's. I mean, this video is only 4 days old, so the new comments aren't going to be too starkingly different. Bangladesh should take over. Oh my god. Just an outright call for war. The comment shouldn't be too starkingly different. Bangladesh should take over the Seven Sisters. Okay. Watching all. Oh god. Um. God dang. Watching all the Muslims and Hindus fighting is just awesome. What? Oh my god. Those. Okay. Two unhinged comments. The land need freedom. Make video on Manipur. A partition of Sylhet is literally forgotten. It's just lost in the pages of history books. Because Islamic population, I mean Bangladesh, Assam, Kolkata, Tripura, and Odisha belong to Bangladesh. Do they? Do they? Maybe. Probably not, no. I mean, no. I mean, ethnically, are they closer in relation? Potentially. But at the same time, no. I mean, they're parts of India now, so. Actually, what it should be is Bangladesh and Pakistan should be a part of India. No, that's the way it should be. That was the way it was from the start, right? That's the way it should be. Anyways, all this happened because of the British. Neither would have come to India, nor would India have been divided. I mean, the Mughals would have still had power over India if the British didn't come, right? Because the Mughals who had conquered and invaded, the vast majority of India at that point. So, what would have happened if the British never showed up? The Mughals would have been the ones in power still. Actually, the Siliguri corridor shouldn't have been that narrow. There was a Tehsil Tana called Panchagar in the corridor area. The Tana was 50%, 52% majority, whatever that is. Jalpurjuri district, 72%, whatever that is. That Hindu? Is that the Hindu symbol? Hindu, according to 1941 census. But surprisingly, this Hindu majority areas were awarded to East Pakistan during the 1947 partition. I didn't know that. Now the Panchagar district is 97% Muslim. Wow. Okay, I didn't know that. Northeast India should join Bangladesh if they want development in their region. Otherwise, it will be negative as always. Bangladesh capital city Dhaka and port city Chittagong is most close than Delhi and Calcutta. I like how this has 8 replies as well. And in India, geographically, they are neglected, but they join Bangladesh, then they will be in the heart of the country. Assam will be more central than any others, so it was better for them to join Bangladesh because Myanmar is not doing well economically, and China is not a good country. They just know how to use others. They will not think Northeasterns are actually Chinese. Also, Northeast culture and language more connected to Bangladesh than China. So he's talking like China's going to take over them. So before China takes over, they should join Bangladesh. You'd be surprised to know how much Northeasterns hate Bangladesh, honey. Why? Northeasterns hate Bangladesh? Why? You, Arunachal Pradesh, actually hates Bangladesh? Who the F wants to join Kangladesh? Kangladesh? What is Kong? Is that a slur? Did I just say a slur? I don't know. I'm sorry if I did. If they join their religion, will be in danger. Actually, it's you who hate Bangladesh. Don't blame Arunachal Pradesh. You're from Arunachal if it doesn't mean that at all. Arunachalis are like you. Nowadays, Bangladeshis knows Arunachal better than Arunachalis themselves. Well, at least not all Arunchalis will be like you because of your mentality. I can't judge just from 1.5 million Arunchalis. Maybe Almighty bless you and give you some good thoughts and about others so that you don't use the hashtag hate word again. Oh God, hashtag hate word. It's very bad to use this word. Don't hate things, people, or anything. Shut up! It was your pathetic suggestion to divide a part of my nation. Ria Runchalis have always been faithful to India. Your newly formed nation is dreaming a lot, and better think of protecting your nation from radical Islamists. They are disturbing the peace of Buddhists and Hindus. Your nation ain't that perfect to have Arunachal Pradesh or Northeast. I hope you had met a Asayamizi, who would have taught you a good lesson. Bro, imagine waking up in a beautiful winter day, floor covered in snow, while some desert cult's prayer loudspeaker hits you. Oh, he's talking about the Muslims, the prayer from the mosques. These majority religious nations would surely impose their faith on your tribes. India have never imposed Hinduism on your faith, and that I can guarantee for sure. While I'm on tour in Arunachal, I was surprised about the fact that most of you could speak Hindi. I was also prepared with English, while other party. Oh God, I cannot speak today. While other party also always greeted with Namaste. I would surely love to visit your state again. Okay, weird. China claims everything they do. China claims literally everything. I'm from the Chicken Neck Corridor, Jalpaiguri, West Bengal, India. My home is right in the middle of it. Wow, that's pretty cool. One more comment. East Pakistan, you just cut off Nepali history. Well, it was a short video. He can't cover everything. Does anybody see Godzilla in a map? Godzilla. All right. Well, did he show Godzilla on the map somewhere? I don't know. Um, okay. Maybe he showed it in like I that's it. We're done. Thank you for watching, everybody. I hope you all enjoyed the video. Remember to go and check out KhAnubis. I'm assuming it's like Khan and Anubis, but maybe I'm wrong. Make sure to go check out this video directly in the link below again. And of course, like, subscribe, share, leave a comment. With that being said, take care. Goodbye.